I'm delighted to say that this morning William Clouston is here from the SDP, Social Democratic Party. William, welcome to us.
Good to be back.
To the new Morning Glory show. It's not the first time you've been on, is it? I think you've been here before, haven't you? Since we started.
Perhaps not this early. I'm not really a morning person.
No, but, neither am I, suddenly. But here I am doing a breakfast show, but, I never thought I was. And also, the thing that's really wreaking havoc with my bedtime is last night going to penalties, because I was getting very used to watching the football, finishing at 10 to 10, going to bed, no problem. Last night, Ronaldo in tears. It was going on till about 10:45.
Yeah, I was pleased to see Portugal, our oldest ally, getting through, Yeah,
very good to see.
How's
the, tell us about the campaign. How's it been going for you?
It's been great. I love elections, and it's a great, general election is a major opportunity for a growing party like us to get out there. So we do things that we don't usually do, like produce a party election broadcast. And a manifesto launch, which was covered by the BBC, which was great. First time, literally since the 80s that we've done that. So it's fantastic.
So has it been an opportunity, would you say, for you to kind of raise the profile of the party?
Massively, yeah.
Because you've only just recovered from the local elections in May, I guess.
Yeah, no, I was actually literally recovering after 6 weeks of, London mayoral election, which was great. Amy Gallagher did fantastically. Dave Bettany in South Yorkshire took another seat off Labour in Leeds. So I was up in Orkney, actually, just minding my own business, thinking about an October election, and then suddenly it's announced. But we did about, I'm not joking, Mike, we did about 4 years' work in 3 weeks. It was astonishing.
And did you have anything like a manifesto to put together?
Yeah.
I mean, or did you have to start from scratch?
No, I'm quite thorough, so a lot of the policies were already in. Certainly the design of it wasn't done, but we did it very quickly. It's called Homecoming, and it's a powerful document, serious document.
And what would you say your three sort of main planks of your policies are?
Let's get into the policies separately, because they're very powerful. But the whole idea is to look at this country as a home, not a shop. The Tories think it's some sort of shop. Everything's up for sale. Labour think it's a charity. It's not a shop. It's not a charity. It's our home. It's where we're building our lives. When you think about it like that, you have a more protective attitude towards this country. We think most of our problems are cultural. Actually, they have cultural causes. But the headline policies are basically back the family, support the family. No one talks about this, Mike. The foundation of society is the family, and we have policies on tax and housing to back it. We want to end mass immigration. I think that's been a disaster for the working man in this country and woman. That's an important part of our policy platform.
And when you say many of the problems that we have are cultural, what do you mean by that?
Let's take trade and industry. So you've got American multinationals and private equity companies are literally buying up our industry as we speak, literally. All of this comes down to the trade gap. We've been led by people over the last 30, 40 years that don't care about running these massive trade deficits. If you run a trade deficit, if you don't care where anything's made, if you don't care about British manufacturing, you will just get poorer. That's what we've had, and it's a cultural cause, because, as I say, we're governed by people that don't give a monkey's, basically.
I mean, we saw a story the other day from Vauxhall saying that they might have to close their manufacturing plants in this country because we're being sort of flooded with electric cars from China. And an awful lot of European countries have also said the same, that there's no point in trying to produce electric cars because they can't do them cheaply enough.
Well, I think we need to look at some protectionism, Mike, because you won't have any industry left if you don't. I mean, literally.
And they're not afraid of protectionism in America, are they?
No, well, we're slow learners on this. Funnily enough, Mike, both Biden and Trump are protectionists. They've finally, the penny has dropped. The American worker needs decent industrial jobs. Industrial jobs are the foundation. In this country, from the Midlands to the North, we've gutted the industry, and now think about how expensive it is to look after those towns and cities where literally 1 in 5 adults are on out-of-work benefits. It's crazy. We've got to reindustrialise.
I mean, 9.4 million people is the number of people now who are economically inactive. I mean, some of them are students, some of them are unwell, some of them are unemployed, but it's a big number.
And the government's
10% of the population.
It's crazy, and it's all to do with the model. And the government's attitude is to import 1.3 million people a year. That's literally madness. So we've got to stop this.
But how would you stop the boats? Because, I mean, that is a big question that people get asked. The Labour Party get asked it all the time. Starmer doesn't seem to have a plan. The Rishi Sunak plan is to stop the boats. He just keeps saying it, doesn't stop them. What's your plan? How would you do it?
We would deny asylum to any unsolicited arrival. If you arrive here on the south coast, you will be taken promptly and put to an offshore processing centre in Ascension Island. You will stay in Ascension Island until you go to where you've come from or a third country. You will never stay here. I promise you, Mike, if we introduce that, the boats would stop. Who is going to pay €5,000 to go to Ascension and never stay here? But if you look at it the flip side, the offer that our establishment class are offering these people is irresistible. You pay €5,000 and you get access to our social wage forever. And the cost to the state is over £500,000 per person. Who wouldn't take that offer up?
And a lot of people are coming because they have family members here already. They also come knowing that if they do manage to get here, they can bring their family with them.
Of course.
Probably down the road.
Right? Yeah. Irresistible.
What would you do with the people who are here already,
illegally,
who are undocumented and, say 120,000 backlog?
They have to be deported if they're not here illegally. If they're here illegally,
you would just deport them all.
Well, they used to, and they stopped, didn't they?
Yeah, no, listen, I'm not
they can do it.
With you.
And I say it's a cultural problem, Mike, because we're governed by people that aren't prepared to do it. There's a lack of self-assertion. It's a collapse in self-assertion.
But is it also a lack of ability to kind of be disliked, if you like? People who want to walk around a bit like, we saw Glastonbury this weekend. Everybody thought it was a jolly jape to have Banksy's, dinghy and float it around on a crowd of people and say, we welcome all refugees. Except you can't get into Glastonbury without a ticket.
No, well, these are hypocrites. We're governed by people basically that lack the spine to govern properly. I mean, after Brexit, the Tories messed Brexit up. They basically they didn't want it, did they?
No.
Remember, it was never part of the policy. What we needed was Lee Kuan Yew, and what we had was Theresa May. If you were governed by people that actually had some spine, could deal with these things, we'd be better off. But all these people, it's luxury beliefs, Mike. They don't pay the price. The British people pay the price for this sort of.
And so, as a party like yours, if people are voting for you because they want to, because they believe in what you say, I mean, what chance have they got of any of that coming true, though? I'm not going to go around saying we're going to win lots of seats. This is a process. We've got 122 candidates. Last election we had 20. We're growing very, very fast. We hope to do very well in the target seats. I'm not going to mention them because you'll have to list them all. I won't bore you everybody
with
that.
Else. But we have we have target seats which we're interested in and we hope to do very well in. But I've never. Honestly, it's better to be honest. There isn't any overnight success. We're building. This is the fastest growing party in the country. That will be demonstrated on Friday morning.
130,000 people, according to some of the papers this morning, could make a difference between a Labour government having a massive majority or a Labour government having not such a big majority and not being able to do so many things. Are you part of that kind of process for people?
Well, we are, because we're contesting 122 seats, but I think I'm not particularly impressed by this supermajority scare story from the Tories. The Tories would say that, but the problem with the public has a terrible dilemma. It would be unconscionable to reward the Tories, Mike. You can't reward these people who've mismanaged. They had a wonderful opportunity. They had a majority, didn't use it, didn't do anything decent with it. So you can't, we might well have a big majority, but I don't believe Labour couldn't do anything with a 90-seat majority. A 200-seat majority would be the same thing. You get factionalism inside.
Well, some people have said to me already that the major sort of responsibility for the opposition will be within the Labour Party. No matter what, because
it will be.
It won't be whoever's the opposition. It will be inside their own party.
It's a very divided party. Yeah.
Interesting. Well, I mean, William, good to see you. Thank you
Great
very much indeed.
Thank you.
And we've been obviously open about interviewing everybody from every party, and it was the SDP's turn today. We've been covering all the major parties and the smaller parties. We'll be doing so for the next couple of days. 2 days to go, ladies and gentlemen, before you have to cast your vote. This is Talk. I'm Mike Graham. More coming up after this.